Hey there, I'm Curly, and welcome to Unfiltered and Undiscovered, the podcast where three music lifers dig into the songs, the stories, and the legends of music that may not have crossed your radar yet. But if you're new here, let me set the scene. I'm the punter, the guy who swears that the best music, the best Australian independent music, was in 1986. I've got the record collection to prove it. Now, joining me each week, I've got Braggy. He's a lifelong muso, a dreamer that's still waiting for that one song of his to go viral. He knows his stuff and he loves digging into lyrics. And of course, we've got Rossy. Rossy, the roadie, the manager, and the guy with a story about every band that's ever plugged into a pub PA system anywhere from Perth to Parramatta. Together, we get unfiltered with the best undiscovered artists across Australia and occasionally the world. And occasionally, we also talk a whole lot of rubbish around artists that we already love. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, I'm Alison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
And my
Rossy.
favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and
Rossy.
Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
And Rossy.
Righty. Hey there, everyone. It's Curly here, and welcome to episode 208 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. We are three old blokes with one obsession, and that's music that matters. We have unfiltered chats with undiscovered artists. So every week on the pod, it's guitars, grit, and the good stuff that you're unlikely to hear on mainstream radio. This is Unfiltered and Undiscovered, a podcast. So wherever you're listening, please hit the like and the subscribe button so that we can share these amazing artists that we speak to. Now, the only bit of news I've got is that I've just returned from the Europe and the UK trip that we talked about. Feeling a bit doughy and a bit struggling at the moment, so we'll hope that doesn't impact too much tonight. If you see me just falling asleep, just sort of wake me up. Rossy's in the studio again, recording the second album for Jupiter 5, so we're all excited for Rossy, and Rossy's just always busy. So we've just got Braggy, who's returned from his part-time employment with the podcast. He's now back on as a full-time host again. So welcome back, Braggy. How you been?
I'm good, mate. I can tell you're tired because you introduced us as three old blokes. I'm not sure if our guest is an old bloke like us.
It's fair. It's a fair call.
We haven't introduced him yet, but we'll get to that. Mate, I'm really good. I'm normally in Adelaide, but I'm in, and sometimes the listeners will know that I'm sometimes down doing my world tour of Agnes Water on the coast there. But so tonight I'm in Bowral visiting my brother, better known as Jimmy Rail Motor.
Yeah.
So and I'm heading to Sydney on the weekend to check out a couple of bands. So that should be good. Maybe try and see Rossy. I don't know.
Yeah, that would.
He's a hard man to find. The only news I have, I guess, is news that everybody knows, is that we've got Oasis in the country. Seems like it's going well for them. I kind of like it. I wasn't a big fan when they first came out, but I've grown to like them. And I just like the fact that they got a big screen, not much of a light show. They just wear their normal clothes and they just belt that rock and roll.
Yeah.
And the crowd's going crazy. They love it. And Metallica they're in Adelaide, my hometown, tonight. I'm not the biggest fan of them either, but I can appreciate it. And Ruby said the town is crazy at the moment. It's just full of metalheads.
I can imagine.
So
now, like you, I'm not a big fan of Oasis, but I can certainly understand and appreciate the power of a song called like Wonderwall, because I was sharing with you offline, Braggy, of our night at the Little Shambles Hotel in York in the UK, listening to an artist called Owen Martins. And when you've got that whole audience within a pub, within a typical English pub, singing along to the chorus of Wonderwall, you can certainly understand the power of the song. And even my son, who is probably I never even really knew that he had an interest in music, was singing along to That's Entertainment by The Jam and Wonderwall by Oasis, and it was a pretty good night. So, hey, let's introduce who we've got. Now, first up, Copperline is a 4-piece country rock band, and they're based somewhere between Sydney and the Blue Mountains. I'm not quite sure where that location is, but I think it's a bit of a hybrid. The group consists of Brad, who's vocals, guitar, Gareth on drums and vocals, and we've got 2 brothers, Paul and Matt Handel, who are guitar and bass, respectively. So, hey, welcome to the show, Brad. How you been?
Oh, really well, really well. Really great to be with you. Thanks so much for having me on. It's going to be fun.
That's awesome. Usually, Curly gets me to kick off, Brad. I always like to find out when music first became a thing for you when you were young. Were your parents musical? What turned you on to, when did you first go, oh shit, this is really what I like or what I want to do?
I definitely grew up around a lot of music. My parents, they didn't play much. My dad's a wannabe piano player.
Nice.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, and loves boring everyone to death at Christmas with the 2 songs he can play on the piano. But absolutely loved music. And we had a piano in the house. Both of my grandmothers were fantastic piano players.
Right.
My dad was professional piano player for a while.
Okay.
And then I had an uncle who was in a rock and roll band, played guitar in a rock and roll band. And when I was a kid, he sort of taught me how to play a bit of guitar, a bit of piano. And we used to sort of sit around at family gatherings and have these kind of sing-alongs of Beatles songs. And I remember one Christmas looking at all the joy on everyone's faces as we all sang together. And I kind of went, yep, this is what I want to do with my life. Just do that to people, make people's faces kind of light up with joy.
Yeah. Well, I can kind of tell that you must have had some sort of, because just from some of the chord choices in your songs, they're a little bit more complex than a lot of country songs, I would say. So I can hear the Beatles influence, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's a piano player thing too. I'm not terrified of the black notes like guitar players.
That's good. So do you play piano on some of the tracks? Because I listen to a few tracks that got a lot of piano. Is that you? Is it?
Yeah. That's me. I'm a.
So you,
yes.
Yeah. So Brad, so you play piano on some of these tracks, but do you play it live as well sometimes? Like, do you have a piano on stage?
Yeah. I sort of jump between acoustic guitar and piano. So yeah, I probably play a third of the songs on, piano or Hammond.
Yeah. And so what do you reckon, like, you guys in your promo, you class yourself as alt country, which is a word we hear a lot brandished around heaps. What, in your opinion, what's alt country? What's alternative country?
Well, these days it sort of seems like anything that isn't pop country. It seems like when you say country today, people think of the really popular pop country.
Yeah.
Which is not us. So it seems like anything that's kind of, just kind of.
It seems like it's actually what it means is it's actually country.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I've often said that to people. I say, look, if Johnny Cash came along and played what he was playing, he would be called alternative country today, or even Alan Jennings, Willie Nelson, they would get classed as alternative country.
And it's insane, isn't it? Yeah.
It's done this full cycle where pop country, or that poppy style of country, the James Johnsons of the world and what have you, seems to have taken hold, and there seems to be a bit of a formula around that. It becomes very formulaic and I think a little bit boring after a while. So it's always good to hear, let's call it a bit more of a traditional country feel. And we've had some amazing artists on who are crafting their own little niche in the country music space, and it's just so.
But I do think Australia is starting to really have this. I know we've got the Keith Urban and stuff like that, but that's different. I think at the moment there's like the people we've talked to, you said, Curly, almost like Americana, but it's like Australiana kind of.
Mm.
That Americana feel it's kind of got a little blues to it, some of the stuff. But let's go. Obviously, you've got this latest thing out, Sleepwalking. It's your latest thing. I feel like I've listened to all your back catalogue, and I feel like there's a story that leads up to this song. I'm not sure. I really love. I'm a big lyric guy. I love lyrics, and I really like. I love how this song starts. It's got a little bass intro that comes in. I love that. But my favourite line here is digging up old bones and hiding them in songs. So, first of all, you can tell us about the song, but then I just want to know, because I know exactly what you mean there. And when you do that, do you often wonder if the people the songs are about, or the things that the songs are about, that people realize when they listen to it? They go, "Oh, is he writing?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it like that until you just said that, but I think there's something in what you've just said. It's funny because we produced this record with Shane Nicholson, who you might know, and that was the line. Like, he was looking through the lyrics, and he said to me on the first day, "That's my favorite lyric on the whole album."
It's a fantastic line, mate.
But it was so this song was you've probably spoken to a ton of people who wrote a ton of songs during COVID, and this was one of my sort of COVID songs. I felt like, when everyone was locked down, it felt like Groundhog Day, and I was just sort of felt like I was going through the motions and starting to sort of slip into this coma where I wasn't really taking things in, and I wasn't really appreciating all the good things that I still had. And I just had this sort of realization that there's still so much great stuff I had in my life. And so the song was just sort of kind of like a slap across the face song. It's like, wake up and start, appreciate all the great things you still have, I guess.
Yeah. So okay, fair enough. That's pretty cool. I get the sense of you. I don't know if you this is one of your favorite bands, Curly, too. I get a sense of weddings, parties, anything from you.
Yeah, there's a real folk to the music. And one of the intriguing things that, if you go back through the back catalogue, there's a little bit of that, what I would call a bit of outlaw country sitting in there. And then all of a sudden you've seen this transition into, a Weddos style-ish folk style of music. So is that something that was intentional for you, Brad?
Absolutely. It's a big influence. I'm a big, Mick Thomas fan. I saw him the other day. Actually had a chat with him.
Cool.
I know one of my friends is in his band at the moment. It sort of coming back to what you said about that, Americana Australiana. I've always been conscious of trying to be authentic to where you're from, so I've always loved Mick Thomas. I love Paul Kelly. I love people that are authentic to the place that they're from. So, and I think that comes through in music as well. Like, there's something really Australian about weddings, parties, anything. Like, to me, they couldn't come from anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I'd love if people, and I've had people sort of say that about us. And that's what I'm really sort of happy about, that, because I strive to just be authentic to where we're from. We're not from Nashville, so I don't want to pretend that I'm from Nashville,
I love that. I love that. And we get the same sense. There's a whole bunch of artists come from up in the north of Western Australia there, like where the Waifs and the Teskey Boys and those sort of places. That's another kind of that similar sound, but it's from where they're from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So finally Australia's getting different sounds from different places
areas.
around.
Absolutely.
Around the country. So Borrowed, Broken and Blue was the last thing you had before this. It's a bleak album. Well, listen to the lyrics. I feel like there's something sad's going on there with Lucinda. Can you want to talk us through that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that song particularly is a very close song to my heart.
Yep.
I lost a child sort of in the early stages of her life.
Okay.
And I just felt really compelled to write about that. And, when you're songwriting, sometimes things take months and months to tinker away at to get right. That song sort of just fell out of me fully formed, which usually means it comes from a really raw emotional place, I guess.
Yep.
So that was probably one of the first songs we wrote for that album, and I guess it set the tone. And I do a lot of the writing for the band, but our bass player at the time, he did some writing and we did a lot of writing together. And he probably picked up on that mood. And he had a lot going on in his life and still does at the moment. So I guess as songwriters in the band, you feed off each other a little bit, and one or two songs can really set the tone for an album.
Yeah, it's a really cathartic thing to get that. We're so lucky, I think, as musicians to be able to deal with grief like that through the music. I got a question about that though. I wrote down when you write a song like that, and when you're going through grief and you put that song out there, and it is really cathartic for you. How does it feel when you listen back to it? After all that time, is it still what is it? Is it still cathartic, or is it the other way?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Thank you.
I haven't. These are really great.
That means the boys will give me shit now for the next two episodes.
Oh, right. Sorry, have I stitched you up?
No, it's good. It's fine.
It's a really good question. It's sort of it was a really difficult song to play live first, as you probably
imagine.
Yeah,
but it's become easier because it's been a real connecting song. Like just about every time we play it, someone comes up and has had a similar experience and has not had a chance to talk about it, which makes me feel, there's a lot of purpose in the song. Makes me want to keep playing it because it's connecting with people. So I think I see it through that lens now. I mean, it was difficult to even listen back to during the recording process. Yeah. But now I see it through the lens of this kind of thing.
You're helping people.
Connecting with people, and giving people an opportunity to talk about something that's difficult for them and they haven't had the space or opportunity to talk about.
Yeah.
Did you hope for that sort of a response with it, or were you hoping listeners? When you write something like that, what are you hoping for the listeners to feel?
Yeah, I think when I first wrote it, I think my driving motivation was because she passed away really early in her life. Like her mum and I were the only people that got to meet her, and I wanted to sort of make this statement like she was here. I wanted a creative statement just to, I guess, attest to her existence and to do that. So that was my first motivation. But really early on, I just, probably the first time I played it, someone talked to me about it, and that's when I sort of realized, actually, maybe I didn't realize, but this is what was driving me. This opportunity to connect with people over this issue.
Yeah.
No one knows what they're supposed to say. That don't stop them saying it anyway. time and tide will heal the wounds and take the pain away. None of that means anything today. We don't know what we're supposed to do inside this empty world we built for you, trapped inside of dreams that we'll never see come true. Everything we touch just faced the blue. I don't know if I believe in heaven, hell, or grace. I've been busy praying to the angels just in case. 'Cause all that we have left now is to promise this, my dear. Lucinda, darling, we will not forget that you were here.
Yeah, that's so good, man. That's what music. That's what we do it for, huh?
Absolutely, yeah, to make those connections and share a feeling or an experience.
Yeah, and just from a punter's perspective, I love the title of your debut album, Rusty Fords and Weatherboards. Mate, that's up there for me. That is just that's an awesome title for an album. But Braggy picked up on a lyric there that he loves in that particular album. Braggy.
Oh, King of Country, just opening up with he works down at the dog track. You can't get any more Australian than that. That's is that about a real person?
Absolutely, yeah. I did a gig years and years ago with a bloke by the name of Kerry Hodge, who was an old sort of country singer based in the Central West. He was sort of based around Bathurst. And so we did this gig, and over 3 sets, about 17 schooners of Tui's old, he sort of unfolded his life story, and it was incredible. That was it. He was living at the dog track in Bathurst, but he'd had this kind of backstory where he went up as a kid with his family band, and they won a golden guitar in the 50s, and he'd sort of. Kind of the bug bit him then, and he'd been involved in music in one way or the other ever since, and he was 70 or something at that time and was still kind of chasing the dream. Wow. I guess. Yeah, it was amazing. Kerry just I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago passed away, and his kids cottoned onto that song. They'd sort of worked out, that song's about him. So a bunch of his kids sort of reached out to me and said, thanks for writing this song about Dad. A bunch of them turned up to a gig we did out that way. Oh, man. So that's another great sort of connection, that song.
And that opening line grabs you. I mean, I saw this interview with Sting not so long ago, and he said, that guy was asking about, does he listen to new music? He says, yeah, I'll listen to the first 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and if they haven't got me, I'm gone. So that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. But
would Sting be grabbed by he works down at the dog track? I don't know, but
well, he's English. He might.
Yeah, he would know.
Yeah. Going through your publicity and stuff there, I wrote down. I saw you work with Steve Kilbey. That's cool. And Mark Williams, what a singer, sings with Dragon now. And then I wrote, Boney M, what the fuck?
That's
got to be a story.
and let's just put in part of the band has also played with Chisholm, right? So this is Serious Mum.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there is a wide spread here.
Yeah. I guess that's the reward of sort of hanging around in music for a while. You get some weird and wonderful experiences. And that's just a mate of mine is the music director for a touring company. So we do a lot of sort of tribute shows and things. Which is how we sort of started working with people like Mark Williams and Steve Kilbey. But yeah, occasionally that company brings out touring bands and they need pickup players. So Boney M were coming out and he said, do you want to play some keys for Boney M? And I said, of course I do. How can I say no to that?
Oh, that's so cool. Were they good? Were they cool?
They were amazing. They were so nice. The people. Maisie Williams is one of the founding members, and she is in her early 70s and has way more energy than I do, leaping around the stage. And I just learnt so much from talking to her about, making a lasting career in music. You learn so much about stagecraft, and it was a great experience, and they made it a great experience. They were really, really cool to work for, and their fans are nuts. We were playing like packed out Enmore theaters, and they were crazy.
And people still love it, eh? Like my daughter hears that, and she goes, "Oh, I love this band, Dad. I love these old songs." So, how did this band? How did Copperline kind of come? We probably should have asked that first, but you've been in the industry for a while. How did this particular band kind of get together?
It sort of came together in dribs and drabs, I guess. Me and the drummer Gareth and our original bass player Richie sort of had a cover band. We were doing weddings, covers, and we even had a kids band at one stage, which Gareth the drummer got dressed up in a giant novelty cat suit. And then Paul, our guitar player, sort of came on board just at the time we were still doing a lot of that stuff, but starting to really get the itch to get back to creating our own music. It's what we all got into music to do. And you sort of get tempted by, there's way more money playing covers in bands, and
there's more gigs almost.
There's more gigs. So, you end up, you end up sort of getting pulled in that direction. But we'd sort of been writing songs over a couple of years and, sneaking them into the set. And we thought, maybe this has got legs. Maybe we should try, get back into our first love, writing original music.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool.
I see you've also shared a stage with the one and only King of Cool, Dave Graney. So what was that experience like? We've had Dave on the show, and it was the most nervous I've ever seen Braggy because the man's so cool.
I adore Dave Graney. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. Well, I'm actually working with him again next year, a couple of times next year. But we did a Tom Waits tribute show.
Oh wow!
A couple of years ago, which was unreal. We loved it. And my Dave Graney story is he chose quite a few songs that were just him and a piano. So it's just him and I on stage, and he couldn't get his intros right. There in those Tom Waits songs, there are all these really long, elaborate intros.
Yeah,
so we had something which we called the Healthcott method, where I kind of leant over the piano like David Healthcott with my head down. Yeah. And then when it was his time to come in, I'd slowly look up at him like that. I didn't know it was time to come in. So before each show, he's sort of saying, "Are we doing the Healthcott method again today?" Yeah, sure, Dave.
Look, we love talking to Dave. I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school, but when he first came on, he didn't realize it was going to be filmed as well. So he's like, "Hang on a sec, I got to look right." So he went off and came back, and then we just talked about we argued about South Australian football clubs for the first 20 minutes, didn't we, Curly? Because he's a Sturt supporter, I'm a Norwood supporter, so it was really good.
It's one of our favourites, but I could just imagine he would be such a nice guy to work with, but very particular around the sound that he wants as well. So
yeah. And he's a lovable smart ass by his own admission. But one of the things I love, he's got an absolutely encyclopedic knowledge and a really broad taste of music. So we'd be sitting at the back of the bus talking about 80s hair metal that he loved, or 50s boogie woogie piano, and he knew everything. So I had lots of really great, like, in-depth discussions about obscure styles of music that I never would have imagined talking to Dave Graney about.
Yeah, that's right. He was very precise, wasn't he, Curly? He told us about the whole journey of his, to where he was. Yeah, and
very much
just bringing the names and the gigs back.
Yeah, very sharp.
One of my favorite songs I think you do is "Be of Use."
Yes.
Yeah. It's got that idle hands. You use like the proverb out of the. I love when people mine, like Paul Kelly does all the time, mines the Bible or other things like. I mean, I'm not a religious guy, but I like religion, if you know what I mean. I like, its history.
Yeah.
So you do that. You use that a bit. It's just songwriting. You're always looking for somewhere to find words.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think probably that's what you've just said. I guess I probably latched on early that some of my favorite songwriters, like Bob Dylan, or we're always mining those. We're going to Shakespeare or the Bible or poetry, or and so many of our sayings and idioms come from the Bible, and so it's part of the language anyway, and part of the language that people use. So it's sort of natural to go there, I think, as an artist.
100%. So Brad, what's up next? So you've had 2 albums out. They're available on all, of course, the streaming platforms. No doubt. Do you sell them at gigs when you're doing your gigs? Do you have CDs available or vinyl?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got our first album just on CD, but our second record CD and vinyl. And we've recorded so Sleepwalking is the first single off our third record, which has been recorded.
Yeah.
So we're just in that, I come from the old days where you released a single, then you put the album out, and
yes, yep. So do we.
Yeah.
But smarter heads than me have sort of advised us to put out a couple more singles before we release the album.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be putting out another single sort of at the end of this year, early next year. And then sort of in the middle of the year, we'll put a single out with the album to come out just off the back of it.
So you're going to have to get one out now. So you're going to do 3 with gaps, because we love talking about this, because it's the new way people, and everyone's still learning about it, I think. So everyone's still got a kind of different way to do it. So you're going to do, which is exactly what people did in the old days. It's just that the singles were records as well.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
Everything old is new again, and
I like the way on your website you've got records, not like songs. I like that too. So
there's
and you're gonna
do
film clips and stuff, Brad, because I like the film clip, the old one you had of Woman's Touch. That's a really good.
We'd have to. We love making film clips. It's we've probably done 3 or 4 now, and we had heaps of fun making all of them. So we definitely want to. It's a logistical operation, so
and expensive.
It's a matter of finding the time to do it. Yeah, and it's hard to find somewhere apart from sort of whacking it on YouTube where you can get it played much, but we don't really care. We just love doing it. We use it as an excuse. We got lots of friends and family who are interested in film, so we've been able to, mine the talent of our network, and we've always got lots of mates who want to be extras, want to be actors. And
that's fun. And I guess, because I think kind of vinyl these days too is almost like it's just merch at your gigs too, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it sells well. We've sold more vinyl than CDs. We, it's taken a while, but we're pretty close to selling out of the vinyl run we did for the second record. So we're definitely going to do one, for this record, because it's just cool to see your band on the cover of a vinyl record.
Absolutely.
That's great.
No better feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah, and hopefully you're going to put all those great lyrics on there as well, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. That's we did that the second time around. A lot of people sort of gave us good feedback that they want that. So definitely.
I mean, that's what I do. I get the record, read the lyrics while I'm listening to it.
100%.
I love it.
And as you get closer to getting that third album out, just give us a buzz and we'll get you back on and have a chat about it. So it'll be great to hear. There's a real authenticity around Copperline, and it's I love that sort of folk experience that you're bringing back into Australian music. So just a couple of questions just to finish her up and wind her up. The music industry is quite tough for artists. So, Brad, how do you protect your well-being as a working artist in the industry at the moment? what are some of the tips that you could potentially give other bands on how to look after yourself?
That's some fantastic questions. I've been thinking about this a bit actually, and I think what I've really learned in the last couple of years is to, especially if you're doing original music, to see it as a community. There are great people out there doing the same thing that you're doing, and I think you can really draw a lot of strength from becoming part of the community. And I'm really lucky as I get to play with, as well as with Copperline, with a lot of my friends who are also making music. And, together we've created a bit of a scene. We play at each other's gigs. We get along to each other's gigs. So that would be my probably most important piece of advice.
I mean,
plug into the community of what, of music in your town.
Talk about great questions. That's a great answer.
Yeah, it is. And so Tamworth, is that part of the community? Are you there this January?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, we're there. We've sort of been regulars for the last 5 or 6 years, probably. So we'll be up there every year. I try and sort of organise it so we're just there for 3 or 4 days, and every year we end up there for the whole catastrophe because we've a poorly scheduled thing and ended up booking a gig on the first and last day. So that'll be us again this year.
Yeah. Okay, Brad. So that means now our listeners are going to get sick of this, but you just set us up for this thing. So we have this thing where everyone we have on, especially obviously in the country field, when they go to Tamworth, if you get on the red carpet
for the Golden Guitar Awards,
whatever, you get the interview, you got to say, if you can, say shout out to the boys. That's all. You haven't got to mention us or anything. Just say shout out to the boys, and we'll know. So we've only had one so far.
So shout out to Brittany Elise, now living in Nashville and doing great.
She's our favorite. So Brad, so there you go. That's all we ask.
All right,
you're
on.
You can do that. That's the only invoice you get from us. So
that's the only invoice
on the camera.
Yeah, and we're going to try and get ourselves there sometime, Curly, aren't we? We got to get there.
We will. Maybe 2027.
Do a live show.
That'd be awesome. And just the final question, if Braggy, if you don't have, if I'm not stealing your thunder,
I got no questions left.
Right. What is the one undiscovered thing that your fans won't know?
Oh, good.
One undiscovered thing that that's a good question. Here you go. Here's a random bit of trivia. I spent a couple of years living in Japan, playing music in Japan, and part of that, I kind of got involved with a bunch of guys that were writing jingles and stuff for ads. Okay. And I walked into the room to write an ad for the Japan Roasting Association one day. And it's kind of like our TAB. And there's this curly-haired guy in the corner with a big Ibanez metal guitar. And I went, I know that guy. And it went ping. And I worked out it was Marty Friedman from the band Megadeth. Oh. So there's a little bit of trivia. I wrote a jingle in Japan with Marty Friedman from Megadeth.
Wow. Mate. Like, this is what the life of music brings you, from Boney M to Megadeth.
Exactly. Yeah. The crazy ridiculousness of it.
All right, Brad, awesome. We will have all of your links in the show notes, but which is your favorite social media platform?
Look, probably Facebook is the one we engage with the most. We are on Instagram as well, and I'm checking that pretty regularly. We're not on TikTok as yet. But so probably Facebook is the go-to.
Awesome. And cool. So we'll have edited in some of your music into the podcast. We'll have the links to those songs, the links to your platforms, whether it be Spotify, your website, and your socials. Brad, it has been awesome speaking with you about Copperline. We look forward to the next album and having another chat when that comes out. Just a reminder to our listeners, if you are an emerging undiscovered band, reach out to us. We would love to showcase your music and have a chat. As you can tell, it's not the normal chat that you get with your 13 seconds of fame at a mainstream radio station. We do dive in and we do ask a couple of other questions that allows artists to share a little bit more. So I think our platform is amazing for new artists. If you've loved what you heard, hit follow, share the show, dig deeper on our Spotify playlist. Copperline will be added to our Unfiltered and Undiscovered Every Damn Song playlist on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and YouTube. Our next show is with a band called The Quarantine, coming to us from the East Coast of USA. So
Woo!
a little bit heavier than what we've talked about tonight, but we did talk about Metallica, Megadeth, and Dave Graney. So who knows? I think Quarantined are a little bit of a mix of all. As always, more artists, more stories, more reasons to listen. This is Unfiltered, Undiscovered. Thank you, Brad, and we will see everyone else next week. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. If you've liked what you've heard, please do us a favor. Hit follow, leave a rating, and share it with a mate who needs some new music and a little bit of laughter in their lives. We're all about discovering the songs that actually mean something. So if you're into raw talent, great stories, and music that hits you right in the guts, you're in the right place, and we'd love to see you back again next week. Don't forget our Spotify playlist. Every damn song, every track we've ever talked about, rising female country artists, and undiscovered covers. And just now, they're not just available on Spotify. You'll also find them on YouTube Music and Apple Music as well. Now, we will be back next week with more music, more stories, and probably some more arguments. But that's what keeps us unfiltered. We'll see you next week.